My name is Brandon Cruz, and today I will be debating how social media has a negative impact on social skill development among individuals. The reason why I believe social media has a negative impact on social skill development among individuals is because I feel like we as a society are too reliant on social media and we're too reliant on many of these devices or many of these forms of technology that allow us to take in different types of information that could come in different ways, such as criticism, such as online bullying, hateful messages. This increases depression, and it also increments a feeling of loneliness and isolation among individuals. So, the reason why I believe that texting and online communication has hindered the ability for people to communicate or interact in person is because I believe that in today's age, people are too reliant on being able to communicate online through text, through a phone call or something, that people find it easier in today's age to be able to communicate just through a screen rather than being able to communicate in person. I feel like this hinders people's ability to be able to communicate as people are finding it harder to make friends as as we are seeing a transition from in-person interactions, face-to-face facial expression communications to as we are seeing in today's society, which is online communication. Many of these people find it hard to make friends now, which increases the feeling of loneliness and increments the isolation of being able to communicate with somebody else. So, as shown in a survey by Cigna US Loneliness Survey that conducted a survey among 10,000 individuals, 10,000 young adults, we see that results say 3 out of every 5 individuals, or 61%, report that they have been feeling a form of depression. Also, 7 out of 10 heavy social media users, or 71% of them, reported that they have had a feeling of loneliness and isolation amongst their friends. The reason why I believe that this has a direct result as the amount of social media time or screen time that people take into their everyday lives is because I believe that social media hinders the ability for people to be able to go outside and communicate in a face to face conversation with somebody else. I believe that people are too reliant on online communication and they begin to lose their skills and make it harder to make friends and make it harder to be able to being able to communicate with somebody. This causes for people to have a increased feeling of depression and a feeling of isolation. The reason why I believe that social media has a negative impact is because of isolation and the feeling of loneliness that people begin to have based on this. So, another reason why I believe social media has a negative impact on social skill development is because I feel like social media has um, room for so much criticism, and people, when they go on social media, they are the most vulnerable to these different types of messages, different types of things they see, insecurities, which causes and builds for someone's depression. In a study shown by young adults and teenagers, people who spend the most time on social media applications like Instagram, Twitter, or Facebook have had a substantially 66% higher rate of depression than those who spend less time on these apps. The reason why I believe people are more depressed when they go on these social media apps is because I feel like they are most vulnerable to take hateful comments and become more depressed based on the messages they see because of social media and the amount of screen time they put into their cellular devices. I believe that although social media has many benefits, the feeling of isolation and depression has overall had a negative impact on society and as how people feel. Now, people may argue that social media is actually beneficial for people's social skill communications because people believe that social media allows people to be able to communicate in even larger groups because it's technology. Social media is worldwide, and it allows them to enhance into better learning opportunities since the internet is so broad, so much information and stuff like that. Although I agree with the points that social media can have an increased, enhanced educational purposes or larger communities, I believe that social media, that statement is false because I believe that social media is so broad. I feel like not many people would take that time to further their education when they could just have a online communication or a social media, and they like days off, or when they should actually be using their educational time. So a study conducted by Prince Saddam bin Abdul Aziz University shows that among 300 individuals, 17 to 29-year-old female students, 97% of them who took this survey, only 1% of them uh, had admitted that they used social media for academic purposes. This furthermore explains that even if social media or the internet allows people to have a greater educational opportunity, I believe people who are so reliant on technology don't fully use these forms of use to the full capacity, and I believe that they um, are taking the negative impact instead of the beneficial from this. So this is the reason why I believe social media has a negative impact over than a positive impact on social skill development.